Know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about that.
We made the stream a
Oh,
long time ago. A real
yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back before Sons Geek was streaming
Mm,
live. I don't know if he's still on.
man. No, he ain't live no more. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Suns Valley podcast. It's been a minute. It's been a while since we've been chilling with the homies in the chat. How's everybody doing?
They don't
A
really
lot of things
deserve you, though.
You got that right. They don't deserve nothing. Nothing. You know what I'm
Especially
saying? They don't
Diego.
deserve it. Especially Diego. You know, man, a lot of things have happened in the last how long has it been? 10 days,
Shoot,
11 days,
12,
2 weeks?
Yeah, I feel like it's under 2 weeks. We're getting close to 2 weeks from being eliminated. What's up? Love yourself, baby Malo in the house. East Metro wants some booming. Get some mo, type shit.
12 days ago was the last game we streamed. 12 days ago.
Wow.
Your Phoenix Suns were swept out of the building by the Minnesota Timberwolves, who, by the way, we thought were going to just have their way with the Nuggets. With the
They
Nuggets
still are, but
shot back.
Yeah, the Nuggets are the first team to beat them at least one time this playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Burner's here early. That's crazy. I mean, I know this is probably his.
This is not early. This is not early.
This is his noon.
This is not early for Burner. This is regular time for the Burnski. Oh, man.
Chris Stew in the house. Love yourself. Bruley. Let's see. Just want to shout you guys out, man. We appreciate you guys being in here. If I missed anybody.
On our impromptu random stream, 45 in here already. Hit that like button. We can get some more people to file on in here.
And we didn't want it to be this random. We would have loved to have gone live immediately when the news popped off about the coach, but I've been with my wife. A lot of you guys know her mom passed away yesterday, so I've been in Houston with her for that. So shout out to my wife. And
then Gabe was like, "You should go live by yourself, Sundo." And I said, "The people couldn't handle that, Gabe. We need to split this up, because if there's just too much Sundo, the chat's going to explode." Okay, so that's why we didn't go live. And yes. Yeah. But
King West in the house too. Forgot King West was first. He was the first person in the chat.
King West was here first.
It's all good, man. I appreciate you guys.
Bernie, you're great. He says too much Sundo ain't a bad thing to my loins. But anyway, Gabe, let me just ask you. Let's just get it out of the way. We'll talk about the other stuff, because we're just gonna hit some topics and we're randomly just gonna bring them up. We don't really have like a list of things to talk about. Just
if you guys want to talk anything specific, son, shout stuff out.
Yeah, just rumors that we saw online. But let's just talk about it. Mike Budenholzer, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about the hire? He got what, 5 years, $50 million?
Yeah. It's crazy that we win another 5 years. It's like, at what point are you going to say to these guys, all right, look, we'll give you
it's like the coach minimum.
Right? I mean, I'd say to Budenholzer, or really anyone, if I'm Matt Ishbia and I just fired Frank after giving him 5 years, what was it, 51? And so now you're paying him to not coach, and he's being paid by the Lakers millions and millions of dollars to not be the Lakers coach.
Bro ain't got to work no more, for being honest.
He really doesn't have to. It's really hard to be sad for Frank Vogel, because it's like, oh, you don't get to coach the team anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. But like, from a human perspective, it sucks that he lost his job, and it might have been scapegoated. That we'll figure that out. We'll figure it out this next season.
Scapegoating.
But it's he is doing just fine. He is wiping his tears with $100 bills while laying in a room full of $100 bills.
Absolutely.
In a house made out of $100 bills. So, with a driveway that leads up to his house paved in gold, in his gold Mercedes whatever. He's so rich. So no, I'm not going to cry for him.
Right.
But when it comes to Budenholzer, it's like, that happened really quick. So he better have got Ishbia better have gotten it right. And from what I hear, he's the best offensive mind available. And I just don't know what to think about that because his title came with Giannis, and Giannis went Jesu Christo mode. Okay, it's almost the Sabbath. I'm going to try to, not take the Lord's name in vain for you. He went full Yahweh, okay? And so how much of that is Budenholzer? I don't know. I don't know what to think. What I'm going to do with this coach is not get too excited, not be down. I'm just going to take it as it comes, and I'm just going to, in the moment, judge everything and be patient with it. Because last time we were like, oh, we got Frank. We're so excited to get rid of Monty that Frank was the new girl in town. And we kind of overlooked like, hey, is this the right guy? We're just like, well, this is a great. So I don't want to do that again. With my Huskers and Matt Rule, he was not my first choice, much like Budenholzer. But like a few games into the season, I realized, oh my God, I love Matt Rule. I was wrong about him. This is the guy that I want to lead. And so I'm just going to hope that happens. I hope that a few games through the season or maybe a quarter through the season, I realize this is the guy. This is the guy. But I'm not going to say it's the guy now, and I don't think I can say he's not the guy now.
I'm with you on that. Patience is key. At least this time around, I think we learned our lesson. With the Frank Vogel hire and everything that was happening that offseason. It was just a really loud offseason that led to a really, really let down of a season, right? Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm kind of with you, man. Like I'm going to just be patient and I'm going to wait and see. It wasn't my preferred hire. We made a video, and sadly, as soon as that video came out, the news was my choice got hired by the Hornets. And so there's that. I wanted a younger mind. I felt like a younger mind would have been better. A younger coach that sort of can have a new perspective on things, I thought would have been better for this team. So there's that. But Charles Lee is now a Charlotte Hornet. And so, yeah. YYC says, sounds like they only interviewed Coach Bud. Well, I mean, there was a rumor that he had, they wanted him last year, and then he had the personal issue with his brother during the playoffs, and then the Bucks let him go. And the rumor was interesting. The rumor is that he wasn't ready to coach. Yeah, and the rumor was that he wasn't ready to coach because his brother had passed away, and he was dealing with that, and so they went ahead and went with Frank. Which, I mean, like I said, when you said the fixes, and I said, absolutely, he was the scapegoat, because it just feels like he was, after hearing other reports, they almost saw Frank as a placeholder, and maybe he was the second option. And if he's a placeholder,
that's a hell of a contract for a placeholder.
Well, who knows, Matt Ishbia didn't know when Bro was ready to coach. I don't know. I'm just saying that's just what we hear. On the world of Twitter and rumors, people are saying that was the case. But either way, from what I heard, they wanted Coach Bud, but he wasn't willing to coach because of the things that happened to him last year, the personal stuff. And so we just ended up with Frank. If that's the case, and that's who they wanted, and now they have their guy, then they have their guy, and hopefully it works out. The one thing that makes me excited for Bud is the old school in me, in which what I mean by that is that he comes from that Greg Popovich tree. And so I got a lot of respect for Greg Popovich and the way he coaches and how he handles his business and how he is a leader of the Spurs. I like that aspect of, he knows what he wants. He knows what he's going to get. He's going to coach his players hard, but also be really cool with them. And hey, if they need a rest, he's not going to overplay them. If they need to sit, he won't play them the ungodly amount of minutes like Frank played them. And he will even experiment with other players as well.
Do we know that
Frank? I mean, I feel like he does, right? I mean,
here's what I've heard. The negative side of him is
what's the negative side?
Is that he's another Monty and another Frank when it comes to defensive adjustments. Apparently, okay. So you remember when just a couple seasons ago, Jimmy Buckets and the Heat went all the way to the finals and they weren't supposed to. Okay,
Right.
they went through the Bucks and Mike Budenholzer, and Mike Budenholzer refused or failed, whichever you prefer, to make one single defensive adjustment in that series, and that's why they kicked his white fat ass out of town. Now, I don't know if he's fat, but you
That's
get the point.
crazy.
But you get the point.
Right. I mean, he's
So
going
he
through
will
personal
not
stuff.
be making, unless he has learned from his mistakes, which is something that Vogel was supposed to have done. Vogel was supposed to have learned in his time off. But well, Timothy says, isn't he a defensive coach? Absolutely not. He is an offensive mind. He is an offensive coach. What up, Michael? So I do like that, though, because it is hypocritical of me to ponder if Mike D'Antoni should have returned. And I was having those thoughts. And those thoughts were like, look, this team ain't built for that. They're not built for defense. So why not have an offensive heavy coach? And you just maybe in this new NBA, the Mike D'Antoni system will work because nobody really plays defense up until you run into the Timberwolves. So it seems like going with the flow rather than going against the flow. So with Budenholzer, apparently he is that guy offensively. That's what they say. I'm not saying it, but that's what they say. He's apparently an offensive guru with it. So it's like, if you and I owned a race car, and this car was a drifting rally car, and Frank is a drag star racer, all right? Not RuPaul drag star, but regular drag racing. And
Right.
we now kicked him out and said, actually, we found this guy who specifically drives this type of car.
Right.
It could work.
Yeah. I got you. Like I said, and like you said, my expectations are tempered. I'm a wait and see kind of guy this season to see what else happens this offseason with James Jones. But
They
once
got a lot
again,
of
like I
work
said,
to do, bro.
they got a lot of work to do. But when it comes to Coach Bud, like I said, I like that he comes from that coaching tree. I feel like he will garner some respect from the players now. I was talking in the chat before we went live about the whole aspect of what KD's, the stuff that's been coming out from his camp. He was not happy with being stuck in the corner. Apparently he wasn't talking to Vogel for like the last however many weeks or months of the season, just wouldn't say anything to him. So will Coach Bud be able to coach through that if that's a thing, right? I feel like Beal will respond just because I feel like Beal is just that kind of guy. Like anytime we've talked about Bradley Beal or we've had to listen to him
okay,
in a post press conference.
I know where you're going, and I am the biggest lover of Bradley Beal, but I'm starting to think there might be a secondary side of Beal that is also true. The side of Beal that slapped away Frank Vogel's hands and wouldn't talk to him and was telling him, get out of my face, shit like that. No. So it's like,
I get that. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I
No.
can't act like Beal is this like model student. Oh shucks, what a guy! He'll do it. He'll jump on a grenade like Captain America to save everyone.
Right.
I don't know, man. He's got a little bit of an attitude himself sometimes.
I mean, the whole team had an attitude toward the end of the season, but that's just what you hear. But I'm just saying, I feel like Bud will do a great job, or at least a decent job, and the players will listen and somewhat connect to him. Like I said, my only concern is really just the whole KD rumors and everything like that. This is dude's like what, 7th coach in how many seasons now? Like, it's kind of a crazy thing if you think about it. Speaking of KD offseason rumors, let's just hit this real quick. Apparently, when Frank got fired, they offered Fizdale a front office position. Nobody knows what that is. And he turned it down basically and said, nah, I'm good. I'm out of here. I'm not taking that position. How do you feel
Bad.
about the noise in the
Bad.
front office about
Bad.
Matt Ishbia? Okay,
Bad.
that's I feel like that's something that concerns me too with Ishbia, the way he's running it. Apparently, the rumors out there, if somebody can confirm that he relieved James Jones of the president of basketball operations position, and now he's just the GM, and they're going to get somebody else for that. I read that somewhere, but I also Google searched it and couldn't confirm it. Right, so that rumor's out there. You hear the rumor about how apparently the front office is quote unquote a circus and chaotic. I don't like hearing that. I think when you don't have stability up top, how can you have stability on the team? You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't have believed any of those rumors until I watched that Matt Ishbia press conference. You know what I'm talking about? Did you watch that?
I didn't get to watch the press conference. I did not get to watch it.
It did not inspire confidence, Sundo. Trying to come up with some type of snazzy metaphor, nothing's coming. It's really just a situation where you would have expected him to. What I would have liked to have heard was a whole lot of taking responsibility, a whole lot of none of this was good enough. This season, regardless of how good the Wolves are, was an abomination and an aberration, and it will not happen again under my watch. I was expecting to hear strong, confident leadership things. But what I heard was, guys, we won 49 games. 49! and may I tell you, over the last 50 years, we've only won 49 games like a handful of times. Now, that's leaving out the fact that the last 3 years we've won 49 games. So, the majority of it's just that's been the norm, bro. Y'all didn't break no barriers. I hate to tell you.
Right.
You didn't break nothing down that we ain't already done. So don't give me this about that. And then the questions about Frank was, no, we think Frank did a great job given what he had to work with. Given what he had to work with, Matt, you called this team a super team. You called this team a championship roster.
Matter of fact, he's the one who made the call to get KD over here.
So all of
and trading away young core.
It ultimately had the tone. And I'm sorry, this is kind of old news, people. I know you guys already heard. This was a couple of weeks ago. We never made a video or went live about it. What up, Vision? We haven't talked about it yet, but it had this feel of a CEO or whatever COO, whoever goes to the board of directors, the
board meeting, and tries to sell everybody on how the stock is great.
Tries to tell everyone, guys, everything's okay, and it's like, bro, this ain't mortgage companies. We watch the product. You can't tell us that everything's okay when we watched it and it was not okay. We watched, our super product explode.
Yeah. I think that's what it was, though. I need to watch it. So what you're describing to me, I need to go watch it. But what you're describing,
he seemed like he had a little.
I mean, it's very possible.
I'm just saying, bro. It was what am I watching? This isn't the sexy genius billionaire playboy philanthropist that I thought we were getting.
It's his first year as an owner. He might be an owner, said he may not be. I'm not here to judge that. But what you saw in that interview was him just trying to sell, like you said, like the CEO or whoever does in the board meeting, trying to win that conversation, trying to win that presentation. Like, hey, we're good, right? We're good. This is what we won 49 games. Stock is great. Stock's going to keep going up. This is my projection, that type of thing. Probably just trying to be positive on it, right? And then, he says that, hey, we think Frank did a good job barring the circumstance, and then Frank gets fired.
Right.
So clearly it wasn't all good, right? So I don't know, man. I think he's just a first-time owner trying to figure it out. I think he would be better off getting people who know how to operate a basketball team and then just trust them to run it. Can anybody confirm if James Jones has been relieved of the president of the basketball operations or not? Or was that just something that I saw?
I heard that too.
Right. Can anybody confirm? I know that
He's
still
been
going to be the
demoted to
GM,
just the GM.
But yeah, so at least he's making that move at least. Hopefully there is some stability there, and hopefully they do the right thing, such as knowing that we don't have a lot of draft picks. We need to either develop somebody the best we can or just get as many players on the roster. But I don't think that's going to be possible with the way this roster's constructed, right?
We've had a lot of really good comments. I'm sorry we haven't gotten to them yet. Don't feel bad about regurgitating your old comments again. Like, remind us of the things you guys want to talk about, because I've seen some really good things I've wanted to jump on, but we just had other conversation going in other directions. One of the things I wanted to bring up that I heard people talking about was Bud is a guy that has centers that can shoot like Brook Lopez. He's going to have us shooting threes next season. He's going to get us off of the 2-point line and back behind the 3-point line. That's a W.
But then you know what that means.
Is Nurk going to be? Is he going to have Nurk launching?
Well, I was getting ready to say that either he's going to have Nurk launching or Nurk's going to be traded, right? But if here's what I hope happens. Well, right, but here's what I hope happens. So you heard the sort of rumors going back and forth about last year about how this is what Frank wanted. Can you get me these players? Can you get me a point guard? Can you get me this? And Ishbia and Jones were just like, nah, we got you. You get what you get. Learn to coach through, right? I hope that's not the case with Bud. If Bud says, hey, I need to get me a stretch 5, go get the man a stretch 5, whether that's trading Nurk. Drew Eubanks is definitely not your stretch 5. If that's what you need, then you need to figure those aspects out, right? And if that's the case, bring back Bo. I know you don't. I know you love that idea, Gabe, right?
Absolutely.
But like, if he wants a stretch 5, then you need to go ahead and figure out a way to get him a stretch 5. Whether you draft him one and let him develop it, or you go find yourself one. That definitely bums me out because I know that Valanciunas is available, and we talked about that. But if you need to stretch 5, Valanciunas is definitely not your guy. So I don't know.
It does fit Bol more though. It
does fit Bol for sure.
It could be, depending on how Bud feels about Bol. This could be the linchpin that gets us to keep, because Bud could come in and say, "Hey, 7'2", 7'3", and he shot what percent? Yeah, I can use that. I can use that as a piece."
It just concerns me because this team.
Is somebody going to offer Bol more than a minimum?
Possibly. No, what concerns me is this team has gone through so much roster reconstruction in the last season and a half that it's almost impossible to make moves, right? You can't just go get a stretch 5 in free agency now. Like, you can't do anything because we're in that second apron, right? Like, there's not a whole lot of options that we have. There's not a whole lot of resources that we have either. It's going to have to be move Nurk and move Eubanks and move a Nas Little or something like that to get the things that you want. That is concerning me, that if Coach Bud's like, hey, this is what I need, and then they're like, well, there's not much we can do roster-wise because this is the roster that you're stuck with, right? So that's my biggest concern is like, man, how are you going to reconstruct this roster and give your coach the tools that he needs?
There is the possibility that and I really believe this, because structurally, there's really nothing wrong with Nurkic's 3-point jumper. It's fine. It's not perfect. It's not broken. He just doesn't shoot often. And, he's not confident. You can tell. When he catches the ball at the 3-point line, he is not thinking, oh, I'm open, time to pull. That's not there. And that's a big... See, it's more like, y'all baited me. The clock is low. I'm alone. Let me throw this bitch up there. Clank! And if Bud comes in and from the jump is like, you're shooting. I don't care. You're shooting. Practice, I need you shooting at least 100 threes per practice. You're going to get your rhythm, and when the ball comes to you, you're not going to think about it. You're just going to pull, and I'm not going to be mad if you miss. I need you pulling because it makes the offense work. That could help him because he had a characteristically low, like not up to his standards of shooting threes. He was abysmal last season. It was probably his worst season ever shooting a three. He's done better. He can be better. But in Frank's system, it didn't seem like that was even an option. But here's my question. Would you rather go get Valanciunas knowing the way he likes to launch the three but doesn't hit that much either? Because I think Nurk might get turned into Valanciunas.
Nurk Valanciunas, kind of. I just prefer Valanciunas because he's a little bigger, but it's kind of the same guy. Anthony says we should have kept Landale over Eubanks. Well, the Rockets gave him a stupid amount of money that we weren't willing to pay. Yeah. That's why he's not on the team anymore.
Yeah.
But I do agree. I would have much rather had Landale over Eubanks as a backup for sure. But that just wasn't going to happen.
Sean, I'm a big fan of Thomas Bryant too. I would love to have him on a minimum.
So, as far as roster moves go, like I told you guys at the end of the season, like we're basically going to be bringing back the same roster, as we've had this year. Minus Bobo's going to go probably somewhere because they probably can't afford him.
You think he played well enough? You think he played well enough that someone's going to offer him in this new strangling, suffocating, reticulated python tightening
of a salary cap
of a CBA? Someone's going to give him more than a minimum? When you got guys like Kelly Oubre out there competing on minimums? Oh no. You gotta think Gordon's gone too, right? He's not gonna re-sign on a minimum or is he?
Might be right. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the
Lucky says get Rondo off the couch. Rondo has legal issues stemming from some domestic violence allegations that he hasn't gotten cleared of yet that I know, and that's why he's coaching instead of playing.
All right, so I'm just looking. So basically, Grayson just signed a contract. Royce O'Neal, I believe somebody can just correct me on this again because we don't know the CBA as well as everybody else. But I'm pretty sure they can give him bird rights, so they can return him on a bird on a bird.
Are you sure? Because I thought that was Goose.
I think. That's why I'm saying I don't know the CBA as well as we should. That's why we always lean on Tori from Blazers Uprise to give us the right information because we're idiots in that aspect. But I think they can return Royce on bird rights. Regardless, even if they don't, you're still going to have Nas coming back. Gordon has is it a player option or is it a team option? Let me look. Gordon's is a player option. Maybe he comes back. Maybe he doesn't. Okogie's is a player option. Roddy's going to be here. Damian Lee's a player option, and Eubanks is a player option. So everybody that can come back on a player option
if they want to.
Right.
See, man, that's why I'm glad we got a new coach because that's a sell. I do want Eric Gordon back. I want Eric Gordon in a 3-point shooting system that's more spread out. I will agree, though, he underperformed this season to what he should have been. And he was a disappointment from what he was supposed to be and what we all thought we were getting from him. But sometimes he was brilliant. Would you say that what Grayson was, he was half of the time?
He actually played well in the playoffs. We got to give him credit there.
Yeah. We're gonna have D.
I don't know.
Back.
I'm kind of indifferent. I'm kind of indifferent on that. On Eric Gordon. So I don't know if he comes back. Cool. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Damian Lee, same thing. Man, it's just I'm looking at these contracts. It is so tight. Like you almost have to trade Nurk and Nas.
Nurk, if you add Nurk and Nas to the first round pick, you might be able to go get you somebody as a point guard. But then you're stuck with Eubanks as the backup, and you have to.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying those are the only you can really do to get if Bud wants a stretch five and a point guard, those are literally the only two things you can move. It's like Nas and maybe Roddy. So Roddy, Nas, Nurk, and that first rounder, or something like that. In a UA. So like there's some things you can move around, but it's not a lot, dude. The assets on this team are just so
Did you
I
see
can't stand it.
Did you see the report today? And in the chat, if you guys could explain this to me if I'm wrong or not. Like, I don't know if you guys know if I just saw, if maybe I got ball sacked is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, Medina, you're right. Medina, you're right. They can't take on. Well, I think it is. I think it has to be. What's the rule on the apron? I think it has to be almost like number for number, basically. There's no, we can't take in more than what we're going away or anything like that. It has to be number for number.
What up, Oracle? What I'm saying is I saw something today that said that Eubank said that the Suns have assured him that they want him back next season and that he's in their plans.
See, and that's what I'm talking about how do you know if you haven't talked to Coach Bud, right? Like, how do you know that's something that he wants?
Great point. And remember, Frankie said, there was a report at least that Frankie said, I'm confident Matt Ishbia wants me around. They've assured me that they want me. That didn't turn out to be true. But you know what we didn't talk about yet? And this is quite interesting.
Bring it up.
Kevin Durant, the report, have many people been coming out, and this is an honest question, have many people been coming out and saying that he straight up just got Frank fired? Because Chad Ochocinco, my guy, not your guy,
Chad Ochocinco.
Chad swears that he and Kevin Durant had a conversation and that he allowed Chad to tell everyone that he is willing to go to the Heat if they want to trade him as an option against if they keep Frank, and that he would be willing to go to Miami if they don't fire Frank, and also that he stopped talking to Frank for the last 3 weeks of the season. Did Frank get coach killed by your guy Durant and my guy Durant?
Let me put it this way. And Michael said it too, because I did hear Perk say that on ESPN.
Okay.
Let me put it this way. I don't have any reason to not believe any of that's true.
Could you do it in the Perk voice?
I don't got any reason to believe these things. I can't do it, bro. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't have any reason. I don't have any reason to not believe these things are true, right? Because that's just the reputation that Kevin Durant has, right? But really, I remember it's like Perk said it, and even Stephen A basically said, like, look, like,
he wants Frank out.
He like
there
this,
was
all
him
these
tired
moves
of being in the corner thing.
All these moves were basically made for Durant, from what I've understood. So it is what it is. Like,
once again,
I think what happened is Ishbia realized, hey, this is what I have. I have to maximize this, and this is where we're at. It kind of baffles me that trading Kevin Durant was never an option they considered. They just said, well, we're just going to maximize what we have, and this is what we're going with. I'm not saying I wanted to trade KD, but the fact that they never considered that an option is kind of crazy, right? But the fact that they never considered it an option, I want the best GMs and owners consider everything. They just did not consider that an option at all.
It makes me think that Bud is going to have more staying power. I feel like Bud's the guy they actually wanted, from what I hear. And I think that if it comes down to Bud or Durant next season, they'll actually move Durant and say, no, we're not doing this. We're paying, for the next 10 years, we're paying two different guys over $100 million to be the coach. They're probably still paying Monty too. So I think this will be the final coach for KD in Phoenix. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you agree with that? I mean, I think they would literally say, no, Bud's the guy. We brought in Bud. We think,
No,
I don't think he's going
absolutely,
to be able to do
absolutely.
this twice.
Well, this is what I think
Or a third time.
about. This is what I think about Kevin Durant, and I've always thought this and that.
Hey, baby.
Tinfoil hat Sundo here. That Kevin Durant's just biding his time until Seattle gets an expansion team, and then that's where he's going. That's just kind of
shut the hell up.
Tinfoil hat guy.
Why?
That's just me. Because he's always talked, because he got drafted by them. He loves that city. He's always talked about it. He's mentioned it before. I do feel like that's like Tinfoil hat Sundo prediction. That's what he's waiting for. But to your point, like
that seems
to your point, but to your point, yes, this is the last coach.
You would have to convince me that he has such an affinity for the city of Seattle and the state of Washington that he's willing to just go there because the Supersonics have a team. And that's all he cares about, is just getting back to where he loves to be and playing for the team that drafted him. That seems like some bull jive that a Seattle Seahawks fan would be thinking. He's going to love coming. He don't give a piss about Seattle.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
He wants to be on a team that's in a position to win a title.
Have you heard him talk about it?
He talks about Austin, Texas, where he went to high school, where I live, or where he went to college, here where I live, all the damn time. Don't mean he's going to go play for the Spurs.
Like I said, it's the tinfoil hat based on what I've heard dude say. That's it. But anyway.
Go on. Carry on.
But to your point about Bud, I think this is where you're right. This is the last, like, this is the coach, KD. This is the one you're going to have to deal with.
He's a championship winning coach.
Right.
He's supposedly an offensive guru. That's the Suns' plan right now. One of the things that they said, I think it was James Jones that said this in that press conference.
Good one, Burner.
He said, no one's been able to unlock KD to his fullest potential, and that's what we plan to do. It's like, bitch, did you not see him in Golden State? The hell are you talking about? No one's unlocked him. What do you mean? So that's their plan, to make everything work for KD so that he can be his full self. It's like, he's been his full self. You're expecting that in year 18 now? What is he going into year 18? Now you're gonna unlock him? Do you hear yourselves? Like, these people in charge of the Suns, man, I am losing faith in how smart they actually are. You know.
That's all I can really say about that is, yeah, we were so excited that Sarver was gone that we completely just overlooked everything that happened the last off season.
Shut up, Burner. I mean,
so look, like right now, it's
no really defensive adjustments. Just be prepared for this upcoming season. You're not going to see defensive adjustments. We will win with offense, or we will lose.
I'm fine. Okay, I'm fine with that. I have this past season, I surrendered to the fact that we were just not going to play a good defensive rebound. Right? That was I surrendered. My issue this entire season was literally in the fourth quarter. We were the worst fourth quarter team, and we played this stupid, awful hold the ball till there's 7 seconds on the shot clock and then put up a junk shot offense. Those were my biggest qualms the entire season. I had surrendered to the fact that we were going to just be a good defensive team. So if you can fix that, I'm good. I'm good.
I
As
tell
long as
you,
the ball's
the
going in
team's
the
going to
bucket
be
in the
about
hole,
the
I'm
same on
good.
defense. But you got to imagine they're going to take a hit. Their defense has to get worse. Going from a coach that's a defensive coach who's at least trying to corral
Does
you
it
in
have
the
to get
direction
worse?
of playing defense.
Does it have to get worse? I don't know. I don't think it can get any worse.
If you go from a defensive coach to an offensive coach, I would think the defense will suffer a little bit, at least.
Look, you went from a defensive coach and that defense was there, garbage, right? Then, I'm with Timothy. If our offense is maximized, then sure, right?
And let's not forget,
Four.
when he won that title, he also had Middleton clamping and slapping everything he put up, and he had Drew
they
Holiday.
literally were shooting 72% from the field in that
an
game, bro.
elite defensive point guard. We don't got that.
We'll get one.
We got Saban
I have
Lizzo.
confidence we'll get one.
Okay, you don't. You do not have confidence we're going to get one. Yeah. Because you know how I know that? Because you can't have confidence.
I
because
know.
we don't have any sort of...
I know. It's blind belief game, all right? That's all it is, all right? I believe, right? All seriousness, you're right. But if Bud can maximize his offense and we just look good and we just Kevin Durant slapping, Booker's not holding on to the ball and shooting crappy middies and turnarounds, and Beal's hitting, and somehow we unlock Nurk or whatever big we have, and off the bench we're just looking, man, I would be so pleased with that. I really will.
They're talking Pat Bev in the chat, man.
Look, I know how you feel about Pat Bev, so I'm not even going to say anything about Patrick.
No, we can
Beverly,
talk about Bev. Okay?
I don't care about Pat Bev, if I'm being honest with you. I'm done with the Pat Bev to the Suns thing. I'm done with that.
Well,
go get me Caruso.
Shut up. Shut up. You're not that's like, me walking into my boss's office at work and be like, you know what? Pay me $300K a year. It's like, get the fuck out of here. You're not getting shit. Who are you? Caruso is expensive, but I know what she's talking about. You saw that thumbnail, that pretty clean thumbnail that might or might not have completely ripped off my former style of thumbnail. Let's just be honest. With Caruso on it in his Suns jersey, and you got yourself excited, didn't you?
No, I didn't see that thumbnail. I just brought up. No, I didn't see it. I just brought up Caruso as just an example of a point of a player that you would like to see.
Yeah. That's like my dad used to tell me growing up. He would tell me that I have champagne taste on a beer budget. He's like, you always want these nice things, you got no budget for them. Like, what do you why does your brain even go there? But no, and the opposite of that is I'm gonna have to swallow my pride, and I'm gonna have to say, bring me bitch Bev, because it's better than nothing. Bro, if you had a wound just bleeding out, and I'm like, look, bro, I don't have any good bandages or sutures or anything. I've got this tube sock. It's not clean, but it'll stop the bleeding. You're going to be like, fucking put the dirty tube sock on it. It's not that kind of sock, is it? Okay, go ahead and tie it around my arm and get the bleeding to stop. That's what Pat Bev is, a dirty sock. Okay? And we got nothing to plug up the wounds. Now, the good news is... there might be hope that we are able to get a Pat Bev-like player that's a rookie coming out that doesn't have behavioral and annoying issues like being the biggest attention whore on the planet, or headbutting people mid-play, or blowing out superstars' ACLs in the playoffs. His name is Devin Carter. Thank you, baby Malo. And the Suns got to do whatever they can, in my opinion, to get him.
Oh, snap, Gabe.
Did we just get a new horseman?
We just got a new horseman, Jeff Luger, a.k.a. Lex
Jeff.
Luger. The torture rack.
Well, we don't
Thank you so much.
we don't have that drop on this part of the stream. So why don't you hit him with a horseman?
Horseman, welcome. Emperor Roy with a 12-month membership message. 12 months for Roy. It's a whole year from Roy. Coach Bud, wow. I don't mind, but I am gonna not get my hopes high just because he won a championship. We said that for Vogel, and we saw how that happened. That's exactly what Gabe said at the beginning of the
we're all
Jeremy with the gifted membership.
Hey,
Rick is back.
Appreciate
you, y'all, man.
And welcome welcome Rick, our newest horseman. And today I had Checkers. I got Checkers drive-through on the way home from Houston, and the fries, perfection. The burger, horse meat. Okay.
But you got one of those Impossible Burgers from
No, it was considered a beef burger, but that was horse. I know horse when I eat it. I've had.
But when I go to Checkers or Rallies per se, because that's what we call it up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always get the small burger, bro. Oh, I never get the big. Nope. Give me a small burger or a chicken sandwich. No, just because, like you said, it's just.
It's like Dairy Queen burgers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they go out of their way to get the cheapest. It's prison meat. Okay, they get the burgers that they serve people on Rikers. All right.
Right. So what I do is when I go there, I get these small. Like I will get I don't even get the Baconator or whatever. I just get.
Yes, Lucky. I had a Buford, and
I usually get the Fry Lovers burger. It's just a small burger with French fries on top. Boom, that's it. Eat that. Done. All right. Ain't got to get no fries.
I'm gonna try because their fries are perfection.
Absolutely,
their fries are top 5. You know. So anywho, sorry. What's up, Asia? How you
what's
doing?
Good.
And Metro, yeah, Dairy Queen's amazing. The ice cream is amazing. The fries are good. But all of their food is just like, they don't put no sort of emphasis on quality for that sort of thing, you know? So who's coming back on this team next season for sure? The starting 5. That was something that Ishbia. Oh, you want to know one of the things that he told us stockholders why we shouldn't freak out? Because we have our starting 5 locked up.
I mean, that's not a bad point.
I love 4 out of the 5, and God forbid I get blocked by Nurk.
That's not. I mean, what do you mean 4 out of 5? What if Gray's the starter?
Yeah. I'm saying 4 out of 5 that I really love, and I'm locked in.
Oh, you love Nurk though. You love Nurk at the beginning of the season. What happened? Okay.
I still like Nurk more than most people, but he is the only valuable piece that we really have money wise that we could move and get something else for. So it's like he just de facto he's got to be on the trading block, don't you think? A little bit.
I think so.
He's not the right fit for Bud.
No, and that's why I said what I said. I think him and Nas will be gone. I think those are literally the only 2 trade blocks that you have. That's salary that can be, that'll be on the roster for over 2 or 3 more years, right? Those are literally the only 2 that you can trade. Like I said, everybody else has got player options coming back. It's Gordon, everybody else I listed before is player options. And then of course Bird Rights with Royce and we already signed Grayson to an extension. So yeah, I mean, that seems to be the only 2 options is Nas, Nurk, and that first round pick you have to just kind of make some moves, and then hopefully, you return some of these guys back on the player options. Hopefully, D. Lee comes back. Maybe Gordon, Okogie's on the player options. But yeah, I do just feel like, to your point, yeah, like those are really the only options, and I think he's on the block for sure, or it has to be considered because, once again, I don't think he's the type of big that he wants. He wants that stretch five, a dude that can shoot threes and stretch the floor, which is what we've always wanted, right?
Or he could look at Nurk's shooting.
YYC, stop it,
and say to Nurk, hey man, I don't think your shot is hideous. I think you can hit him. You just need to be confident. We're gonna get you shooting threes this season, so be prepared. So in your preparation for this upcoming season, if I were you, I would be training shooting. You need to go shoot with Lethal Shooter himself, just like Grayson Allen did. You need to ask Grayson for Lethal Shooter's number and work with him like Sabonis did, like Miles Turner has, like a lot of the players in the NBA have worked with. Go work with Lethal Shooter this summer, and let's have you shooting some threes. If it don't work out, I'll maybe trade you halfway through the season. Obviously, he wouldn't say that part out loud, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. This is what I do know. Since we're in the second apron.
Oh yeah, whoa. You can't just skim over Sweet Baby Ray Royce barbecue sauce $2 dono. It says, can we debate Monty or Vogel?
I ain't doing that. Stop it.
I think at this point,
and the answer is Monty, because he was there more than a year. Like
Monty never got swept in the first round. Monty never got swept. Period. Monty never got swept in the playoffs. Monty's offense was at least passable, and the defense was there from time to time, because that's how we made up the gap between us and the better teams, is we played good defense.
Not really a debate, but they're both of them are.
It's Monty, and we were so excited to get rid of Monty. It's like they were so excited of the fact that they didn't stop to ask if they should. And yes, things could get worse, and they did. They did, man. And Beat LA is saying we got to get Caruso from Chicago. Maybe somebody can explain to me what the prevailing thought out there is about how to get him, because we really don't have money or assets for that. And in the past, as recently as like a year ago, Chicago refused a trade that would have given them 2 first-round picks and other stuff for Caruso. So if 2 first-rounders ain't enough to get Caruso out of Chicago, believe me, the Suns don't have enough, more than likely. Like, you got to be able to bid the highest, and they can't bid the highest, bro. They can't do that. Knox says IT's the answer. I doubt IT's there next season. I don't know. Maybe Bud. What if Bud comes in and says, you know what? I think I can work with IT. What if that's the case? Because he likes shooting threes and IT's slapping threes. At least in the G League, he was shooting like over 40%, hitting like 6 threes a game. That would be very interesting. I didn't know that, Ruben. But that's something they're going to have to get over. If we're ever going to have Pat Bev in this organization, they don't get much more bad blood than Pat Bitch Bev and Devin Booker. Like, he busted. The reason Devin Booker's nose looks more like Owen Wilson than Luke Wilson is because of Bitch Bev. In the playoffs, if you don't remember, the inbound pass came to Book. He's holding the ball, and Bitch Bev jumps at him and basically dolphin bobs at him and headbutts him right in the nose, explodes his nose like Steve Nash. So, that's about as bad as blood as you can get. Plus, he hurt Chris Paul. It was very contentious versus Pat Bev. So I don't know. They'd have to figure that out because Caruso, which isn't going to happen, would be the perfect point guard for the Phoenix Suns. It does not get better than him for what the Suns need. What are you looking at? What are you searching? I know you're trying to come up with some big shot, some JJ Redick.
I'm looking at what can get. No, I'm looking at what can get us out of the second apron. So we have 190 million. Literally, trading Nurk could get us out of the second apron. Actually, trading Nurk would get us to the beginning of the first apron, and then trading Nurk and Nas would get us out of the second apron. So I'm just pointing that out there, like there's options there. That just is more reason for them to trade Nurk and Nas if you want to get out of those penalties. I'm just throwing that out there. I just wanted to confirm, like, Nurk with 18 mil will get you to the first apron for sure. You add another player that gets you out of that.
Can you look up individual rebounders for, stats, please, and tell me who was like what rank was he in rebounds? JP says, can we trade Beal? You could only trade Beal if he wants out because he still has that no trade clause in his contract. So you can't just decide to move him unless he's okay with where he goes. And if that other team, which they will know that Beal has to sign off on it, that cuts how much you can trade for him.
8 in rebounds this year. Only Gabe, 0.1 behind DeAndre Ayton.
Ooh, so he got out rebounded by DA this season.
No, he got rebounded DA by 0.1.
Okay. What was his blocks compared to DA? Where was he at in blocks, period?
Well, now you got to make me do more work.
I'm thinking between mid-20s and 30. Maybe not.
Give me a second, bro.
Corey says Beal will waive his no-trade clause to Milwaukee. Maybe, but then Beal would... I mean, you're looking at trading for Dame in that situation. And I don't know if he wants to go to Milwaukee. You don't know if he wants to go to Milwaukee, but that would be freaky interesting.
Dude, Wemby led the league in blocks per game. That's crazy.
Of course.
Nurkic was 23rd.
23rd. Where was Ayton?
I didn't even know. But I didn't see his name.
You bet not be cussing, Ruben. Get that soap out. Chris Stu says, I feel like Beal would be a good fit in that Heat system. Yeah, he probably would be a great fit for them. You know, they carry point guards on their roster, which would allow him to play his actual position. You know? I mean, Cooper flag is pretty dope, Koopa, but even if you were able to successfully tank, you never know how the ping pong balls are going to drop. So, you know, Ruben, yeah. Would I take scary Terry Rozier? Yeah. Would I, you know, if there was a knock at my door and it was, what's her face? What's your girl's face? What's her name? The real popular famous girl right now. Blonde.
Come on, Bobby Althoff?
Not Bobby Althoff. Not Bobby Althoff. What's the most famous girl in the world right now? Not Ice Spice. Blonde actress. Sydney Sweeney, thank you. If Sydney Sweeney knocked on my front door right now and said, hey, would you like to have a threesome? I would at least ask my wife. It's never gonna happen. It's not happening. Okay? You ain't getting no scary Terry.
I would at least ask my wife. Is crazy.
You'd have to ask. You know, be like, look, you know, this is her IMDb. You interested?
Bobby got that. Ooh.
Powell
Shout out to
says
Miles, bro.
Scary Terry makes 25 mil a year. Yeah, it would be. I'm assuming you're talking about trading Beal, saying, "Look, Beal, how do you feel about going to Miami? They can give us Scary Terry." That's not a bad idea, to be honest. We need a point guard so bad. We're so
who knows what moves are going to happen. Like I said, your options are limited, but you got a first rounder, you got Nurk, you got Nas. You can't really trade anybody else because they're on those freaking player options, right? So those are really it. I have a feeling they will, and David Roddy, but he's only making $2 million, so I don't even think that's even gonna put a big dent. But those are your options, really.
Did you see that picture of Booker cheesing, smiling on Instagram right after?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So can you guys tell me in the chat, or maybe was that after they fired Frank and before they fired Bud, or was it after they hired Bud?
A great question.
What was that smile about, people? Because it doesn't feel like it was unrelated. It was okay, but Mala says it was after they hired Bud. So that's encouraging, right?
Like we're reading too much into that, but sure. If you want to think it's encouraging,
bro.
I think it's encouraging.
Come on. Why else do that? Why else upload a picture of you cheesing right after you get a new head coach? So you got a tinfoil hat for all kinds of other situations, but you ain't got a tinfoil hat for that. This is where you crumple the hat up and throw it away.
Absolutely.
Okay, I see.
Throwing it out. Okay, it's not a big enough conspiracy for me to put the hat on.
How do you feel about the fact that Bud's the coach that beat us in the finals? Does that excite you? Like, now we got the other guy, the better coach. Clearly, he made adjustments because they were down 2-0. He made adjustments and Monty could not answer them. He won. Budenholzer won the chess match.
Right.
That's exciting. That's cool.
Play random, Gabe. Play random.
I have been trying to figure out what he meant by that. And so let me play devil's advocate. All right. Maybe what he meant by that was be unpredictable. Like don't be predictable out there. Like do things that are going to catch them off guard. Set them up for okie dokes. Make them think you're standing out there for a 3. Second they turn their head, you're behind them. Like don't be predictable. That's me trying to explain away him casually saying, play hard, play random, play tough out there. Wait. Go back to the second one. What? But who are we to laugh and mock him when that pep talk cooked us 4 games in a row? That sort of insight pulled the rug out from under us when we thought we had our first chip. Up 2-0. Life is sweet. I'm sure Book was unbothered.
Don't remind me, bro. We've been trying to get that same high for how long now? Not gonna happen. Been chasing that high as Suns since we're in the finals. We're up 2-0. Suns in 4. Suns in 4.
We'll never be that team again. I don't think we'll ever be that stupid. Diego in the house. We got Diego in the house. What's good, Diego Perez?
The Trooper says, "Can we talk about the Suns' money guy? What do you mean, like the GM, president of
No,
basketball
the guy who was
operations?
counting the money.
Oh my gosh!
I'm pretty sure that guy.
Wasn't that
guy.
Orange?
No. It was just some Mexican dude counting money. Like so they were
No.
counting.
That same guy. No, that same guy. Was that the same guy that ran into Westbrook?
Or wasn't it his daughter that like got in trouble with Westbrook or something like was screaming
something
at him?
Him and Westbrook got into, and him and Westbrook got into it.
No, you're right. Yeah. So what's funny about that is what's so stupid about that is that it's like he didn't even understand what was going on because so stupid, bro. We were counting out loud because Giannis famously takes 10.5 seconds to shoot his 10-second free throw. Okay. You only get 10 seconds and he's always taking longer and they never call him. So the crowd is chanting while he's taking his long dribble process. 1, 2. And this dude, this genius, I want to throw out this genius, and I'm Mexican, so I could. All right, I could say all kinds of things I want to say. All right,
no one knows what you are. Okay,
I'm everything, so I can berate every race and get away with it.
No one knows what you are.
This guy takes out a stack of hundreds and goes 1, 2. What are you doing? We're counting for free throws. It has nothing to do with how many $100 bills you have on you. You idiot.
Bro wanted the flags. Bro wanted the flags.
Didn't win a game after that. Malo says, Gabe, Giannis took out Craig's knee that series and Dario tore his ACL also. That's true. That could have played an upsized role in why they just flipped the script on us too. And it did. It did. Wanted to slur him a little bit, you know. I'm gonna let it relax, because it's almost the day of the Lord.
Almost, and oh man. So, what do you hope happens this offseason? I'll ask that before we get out of here.
I hope that we do what we did last season, where everyone looks at this team and says, "Oh, you guys are screwed. You're so screwed. You traded for Bradley Beal, and now you got nothing. You got nothing to build a team." And then all of a sudden, it was like, then they get Gordon to sign on a minimum. And at the time, everybody was fooled by that. And then they're like, and you're able to get Yuta, which at the time, everyone thought was going to be a killer for us. And they're like, and you get Bull, which at the time, everybody, you know what I mean? Like, so if they can just hypothetically go out there and make moves that should work, that's all you can ask them to do.
There won't be a whole lot of moves like that, like I said, because there's a lot of players in the player options. So who knows? Here's what I want in the offseason. I want to see some sort of investment in the future. Some sort of. Whether that's moving a player for draft capital, whatever you got to do. I want to see some sort of investment in the future of this team moving forward, whether that you use that draft pick on a player or you get more. I just want to see that. I just don't like this whole trade capital for vet. You can't afford to do that anymore. You literally don't have it. But so whatever you have, I want to see. What they
said about that? You know what I'm pretty sure Ishbia said, and I could be quoting James Jones, but I'm pretty sure I'm quoting Ishbia as he said, draft picks are for drafting great players. And over the next 5 years, we've got 8 chances at that. Can somebody fact check me? Did I get that right? As it, like, it didn't feel like he was very rushed with the picks. Like, we got 8 chances to find a great player over the next 5 years.
Well, look, I hope there's some sort of investment because you're definitely going to need it. You need those young players on your team. So that's what I hope is just some sort of
You
investment.
want
And
either Devin Carter or Zach Edey.
yeah, something like that. And I would like to see. I know. I mean, but Christy says Booker doesn't care about pick Sundo. I mean, that's fine.
But what if you're able to get a point guard? Like, what if Devin Carter is good enough that by next year, like, holy shit, the Suns have a star point guard? Like, that happens. That shit happens.
Like that, right?
At
so that's
17. Like, what pick was, I think we took Sticks and could have had Halliburton at, like, what, 15?
Something like that. So, like I said, that's my hope is there's just some sort of investment into the future. And then also, you know, if Coach Bud says he wants a stretch, then you got to consider trading Nurk. So hopefully
Edey's probably not going to be
make
that.
the right.
He's not a shooting center. He's not a stretch.
Right.
So maybe Edey's
and so I hope
table.
that. So I hope that they actually make moves for Coach Bud and not just make moves for themselves and then tell him to deal with it. And that's my hope. There's some sort of continuity between coach and front office, because that clearly wasn't the case this past season.
Paolo says Hallie was at 16. See, that's why I can't get over the thought that they need, like, bro, I'm so sick of this. Well, we're trying to win a championship right now. It's like, yeah, but we're going to be trying to win one next year and the year after that and the year after that. That's not nothing. You can't just discount that. You can't just completely ignore your future for right now. Like, you can't act like there's no value in getting next year's star point guard now.
Well,
because he could probably play a little bit this year.
Yeah, how do you think
they won a title with Norris Cole and Mario Chalmers? Cole and Mario Chalmers, and I think Mario was like a rookie when LeBron won with him. You don't need to have a top flight ready grown up point guard. It can just be a young guy who helps out by doing some things. As a rookie, it's better than nothing. It's better than goddamn Saban Lee. If I see Saban Lee in Phoenix, if I see him, I might nuke the city.
Wait, people, we got a new coach. We're going to be patient. We're not going to have high expectations.
Well, it's kind of cool that we don't have that title or bust title hanging over us anymore, right? Do you feel like we still have title or bust? Shouldn't we know better?
I think the way this season ended sort of tampered fans' expectations, but I know for a fact you can't have these resources and not have that ambition, right? Like, you can't have Booker, Durant, and Beal all tied into maximum contracts like that and not say, you know, Tyler bust. So I know for what they're thinking, Ishby and the front office is thinking, yeah, that's their aspirations. Us as fans, that's a whole different conversation. I'm pretty sure fans got a big reality check this past season, and our expectations are not championship or bust. Our expectations are, bro, like, can we not get swept again? Like, that's how bad it got. Can we not get swept again in the first round? Like, can we get past the first round? It's pathetic, but that's just kind of where we're at. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just sad.
I think, man, if we just fix a couple of things, get a good point guard and a good offensive system, bro, we could be right there. I feel a lot better after seeing the T-Wolves stick it to the Nuggets twice at home.
Just a little bit better. I also feel a lot better because it's been 12 days since the loss, and now we're just like, okay, all right.
Well, we've accepted what we really are. We didn't know
exactly,
because there was always that haze of Well, when the playoffs start, they might turn it on. They might really get it going.
That was you. That was you. That was you. That was you. That was you, sir. That was you. You.
Hell no.
That was you, my guy.
I probably was.
Abraham Martinez, $2 super chat. Let's enjoy KD and Book on our team. That's it. That's all we got.
I've thought about that too. About, hey man, let's just enjoy having KD and Booker and being able to watch really fun basketball and have a great season. And not put title expectations on this thing anymore. But that does feel like you're just accepting failure. That's not what this team was built for. That's not what this team expects to do.
And that's my point. So the front office believes it's title or bust. I'm saying us as fans after this season, our expectations are down because we just don't want another letdown, because that's part of Phoenix sports fandom, if I'm being honest with you, from the outside looking in. Like, this is what Phoenix sports fans does, and you guys have sucked me into this. I used to not be this guy, okay? I used to have expectations, right? Used to just be like, hey, this is where we need to be. This is the expectations. But look, you guys have brought me down to your level of Phoenix sports and Arizona sports fandom.
You're
and
a
I
real
can't stand
AZ
it.
sports fan now, baby.
And I can't stand it.
You might as well just become a Cards fan.
No, I will never.
Unite. You know you like that
St. Louis,
red.
St. Louis Cardinals, but St. Louis Cardinals aren't even that good either.
DC says I'm still optimistic. DC, what are you optimistic about?
Hey, we're optimistic too, right? Like we're like, it's not like we're down. We're just like, hey, bro, wait and see. It can't be any worse than last year, we don't think, right? And so, I guess we're not down on the team. We are optimistic, but we're not getting our hopes up. We're just like, all right, we're gonna wait and see.
I think it's very appropriate. It's like we've grown as adult men a little bit. We've grown as fans. Now, you guys have to understand, a big part of the hype and stuff, to pull the curtain back a little bit, show you how the sausage is made. A lot of the hype is, that's how YouTube works. That's what gets people to click on things. We understand that. But I think this offseason, you're just naturally going to see us tone it down a little bit and bring you more tempered expectations style coverage. We were drunk this last summer. We were drunk on that Suns Kool-Aid.
Baby.
We were too turned. You know, and that can happen. DC says Ishbia will make big moves. He likes to fire and hire. That's what I thought when they hired Bud in one day of searching, because I was listening to AZ Sports Radio and they were saying, like, I think Bickley was saying that it would be we're going to know within a week to 10 days. And it was one day. And I thought that lines up with Sundo's video about Ishbia, that he likes sweeping change quickly.
Change, and he likes it fast. Yep.
So,
which is why I'm a little concerned with the front office, man, because like that's got to get shored up, and you can't change that. There's got to be more continuity. Just because, so who knows? We're gonna be patient. We're gonna watch the rest of the season. Cannot wait to see what happens this offseason. We won't get to know anything until free agency and the draft of what's exactly happening. So until then, like, we can speculate all we want.
I'll have hopefully tomorrow. I don't know. I don't even know. I've been so out of it, but whatever game is tomorrow, I'll probably be streaming on Von Sanity. If Sundo's free, he'll be there, I'm sure.
It's Mother's Day. I will not.
He will not be there. He will not be there.
I will be. What time is the stream?
I don't know. I probably won't even do it if it's Mother's Day. We'll have to see what my wife wants me to do. But
Diego, this is my question. My question is, why didn't they hire Bud last year? From what my understanding is, Diego, Bud's brother passed away during the first round of the playoffs before the Bucks got exited by the Heat. And from what my understanding is that was a personal issue, and he was just wasn't ready to come back to coaching.
To take a year hiatus to get his.
From what I understand, that's what's out there, is that he was not ready to coach after his brother passed away, and the way he got fired in Milwaukee. That's from what I understand, is that he just wasn't ready. So in some ways, Vogel was a sort of fill-in. Burner says, Sundo, give us that famous horseman cheek slap. Nope, I'm good on that. John Lewis, $5 super chat. Says, Wolves fan from Minnesota and AZ, love your show. And the Suns, when they aren't playing the Wolves, pray they trade KD and Beal to get picks and young players. I would love to see some of that happen, but it's not going to happen, man. Ishbia is bringing them all back.
They're going to do at least one more run with this big three. Thank you,
They're running it back with Bud.
Congrats to your Wolves, man. I'm mostly pulling for your Wolves, John.
Mostly pulling. I'm absolutely pulling for the Wolves, bro.
Nah, because
absolutely.
No. I would have loved to.
There's no no.
I would have loved to.
There's no no.
I would have loved it. And I've always liked Ant. But, bro, I can't be a cuck like you.
That has nothing to do with that.
You're cucking.
What is that? What does that even mean?
You're cucking yourself.
No, you're just being an idiot.
I can't.
It's not like this is. It's not like we lost. It's not like we lost to the Lakers, and now I'm like,
not about that.
LeBron and the Lakers, bro.
Not about
it's not that. No, stop. I'm tired of hearing you with this. Oh, you don't. Yeah, you don't know nothing about that.
Listen, what I'm mad about, and I get hung up on specific details that make me stop rooting for things. Thank you. I had this dude beating the brakes off of my big three.
Cry me a river.
And then he had to tell him, suck it, suck it, suck it, suck it, which is disrespectful to me and this Phoenix Suns organization.
Yeah.
It was disrespectful to KD. And I just can't be like, hey, that guy that told me to suck it, I'm rooting for him now. That's a cuck move. I can't do it. So I do hope somebody beats them. I do.
Cry me a river.
So you're fine having a dude tell you to suck it, and you're just gonna abide. Got it.
Look,
got
bro
it.
Earned it. Bro earned it. Okay.
But you didn't have to rub the salt in the wound and tell us to suck it.
Hey, you can't be like, I love Ant. I love his tenacity. I love the way he plays. I love his passion. And they get mad when he's doing this because he's beating the dog shit out of you. Shut up. Stupid logic. Bro deserved to do all that.
He couldn't have no class. He couldn't have no man, that was a great team we just beat. I'm really loving how we play now because
the show. In the show. End it. I'm done with it. You couldn't have any class.
A little bit of class.
That's the
people
Lucas
don't
special.
like Booker. Exactly.
People don't. No, people like Ant though. That's the problem.
It's because Ant's a dunker and Ant's funny and lovable. But a dunker also.
Lovable.
People love dunkers.
Booker's smug.
It's true.
What are we talking about? John Lewis of the $5 super chat. Pull for the Wolves. They're great. They're great people and fun. They built their team, and it's so fun. And his interviews are great. Book was acting like a B. See, look.
I agree with all of that. I just, it's tough to root for somebody that told me to suck his dick. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I can't abide that. TC says I'm with Gabe. It's like, bro, I would have rooted for you.
Gabe can't. I can't do a show with a guy who tells me to suck it. What do you think about that, Gabe?
I just,
do the show. Do the show, Gabe.
Hey, Burner agrees. He says, I hate that I can relate to Gabe's pettiness. That's all it is. Like if he'd have done all of that stuff, I'm fine with the Michael Jordan shrug. I'm fine with all of that. But I hated. This is totally different, but I hated Aaron Rodgers.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way
exactly.
that you dress.
It's not that bad. I don't feel that bad. But I hated Aaron Rodgers before he ever became the Bears killer that he was, because he was doing that discount double check. And it rubbed me the wrong way because he hadn't won a title. So him doing a belt was like, bro, you ain't won nothing. Why are you putting a title belt on? That's just weird. And then you fell in love with him because of all of his COVID talk. All right, guys, it was a great stream. We don't have time for Sundo to respond to that. We don't have time.
Excuse me.
But just know that he agrees with everything politically that Aaron Rodgers has said in the past 3 years. What up, DC?
I hate Aaron Rodgers, bro. Quit playing.
John Lewis, again, $5 says, if Book wasn't act like a bee, Ant doesn't do it. And Ant's only 22, flipping years old. He's a kid. Ant's antics were Booker's fault. I thought it was more directed to Beal because him and Beal were going at it so much. It's very okay. Not only is that super disrespectful, how does that not get a technical foul?
No, I agree with that. When he was doing that the whole time, I was like, hey, bro,
you know what I mean?
How did you not get teched up? I do agree with that. I do agree, but hey, they didn't take him up. It's whatever. I guess DX is such an old thing that referees don't understand what's happening. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 words for you.
And it's like, okay, well then I'm not going to root for you. Like, I can't. But I do understand the allure. The guy is he's Michael Jordan reincarnated.
Well, I'm with John Lewis. I like rooting for teams that were built like that. I do like the way they play defense. I like Ant. The only player on your team that I don't necessarily like a whole lot, John, and it's Cat. I love Conley. I love Ant. I even like Gobert. The one guy on the team that I don't necessarily like is Cat.
Why?
But either way, I don't know. I just don't like Cat.
Just that soft meme of him barely getting fouled and screaming like he's being murdered.
Just not the biggest Cat fan, bro. Just not the biggest. Well, you know how I feel about Booker.
Or they call him 7
We're not
going
to talk about that.
They call Cat 7-foot Drake.
Hey, you don't want to be 7-foot Drake right now, Cat. You do not want to be 7-foot Drake right now, bro. You do not want to be 7-foot Drake right now.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be streaming some of these games soon. Getting a new computer soon, so I won't have the computer blow up. And maybe we should do this once a week. I know we've always talked about that, but
have to. We'll do once a week.
Do like one a week, and maybe we miss a week here or there, but probably not
Sunday or Saturday night.
Yeah, let us know. Maybe I'll put a poll out on. I'll put a poll up for like a community post on YouTube, and you guys can vote it when you have the time. Do you guys want a Saturday stream or a Sunday stream? Or does that not work for you? Do you need to do Sundays or?
I just need to do Saturdays. I don't work on Sundays, and Sundays I have to work on Mondays. So
Saturdays might be good.
Joey, what are you trying to say here?
Yeah, spit out the rest of the sentence. Diego goes, you guys said this last year and never did it. We know.
We're trying to commit now.
Yeah. Doing all those Bleacher Reports got us thinking maybe this isn't a bad form of.
Absolutely.
But anywho's it, Sundo, sing them away.
Oh, you want me to sing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're doing that? I mean, I don't even know what to do.
You could do some Tupac. Some Chappelle Tupac, potentially.
Hold on, Joey. We're just going off what Perk and Stephen A. Smith were saying. Relax.
Diego says we've been cucking them.
He must be. Oh, I get it now. Y'all must be KD fans. No, I want to see a nigga repeat. Anyway. Suns hire Bud. Suns hire Bud. Bud.
So not serious.
Not serious at all. This Bud's for you.
Ugh. We're going to be hearing that all year.
This Bud's for you.